I think it's time we get this thing started. Hello, everyone. Hold on. Let me get to the right thing. So as you can see in my stream description, we're gonna do something a little bit extra today. My buddy Neos showed me a Fire Emblem Three Houses character tier list on Twitter. And if I can find it... Oh man, did I not like it or retweet it? Let's go to tweets and replies. I definitely replied to this, but I can't remember who made the tier list. So, but okay, I found it. So let me switch over to this, and here we go. So this is by RogersBase. I didn't know who this was when Patrick showed this to me, but apparently this is like some well-known guy. By the way, what's up, Jared? Oh, hang on, the window's all... It is the wrong size. Let me fix that. Why do they always zoom it in way too much? Ah. I'm starting to get the opinion that Streamlabs sucks. Whatever, that'll work. Okay. So he sent me this and he asked me for my thoughts, and I realized I had a lot of them. So I thought I'd go over this on stream, and I picked some appropriate music for the occasion. So let's start at the top. Let's just start at the top. By the way, just a disclaimer: I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to talk too much shit about RogersBase. I'm sure he is a reputable man. I saw that he worked with Totally Not Mark, who I am subbed to on YouTube. But I do have some opinions on his tier list. This is not this is all in good fun. I'm not trying to, you know, cancel Roger or anything. I'm not trying to call him a, well. Yeah, I don't mean any disrespect, is what I'm trying to say. But he is entitled to his own opinion, but I would like to share mine. So let's get into it. We'll start at the top. SS tier. First off, we have Edelgard, so we're off to a good start here. Edelgard is definitely a top tier character in this game. Oh, also, there aren't any like criteria listed for this, I don't think. Did he reply to this at all? Yeah, so he didn't really give any criteria for it. So as far as I can tell, these are just his favorite characters. But, you know, stated in a, you know, so character tier list. So I'm guessing this has nothing to do with like their strength as a unit in battle. It's more of just their like personality and all that. So, yeah, Edelgard SS tier, great choice. She is a fantastic character, and I absolutely adore her. Also, I might get into spoiler territory in this, so just bear with me. Rhea in SS tier. Now, I know there's a lot of Rhea stans out there. I am not one of them. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm not gonna say she's a bad character. She's actually a very, very interesting character. If you play through all the routes, you get to learn a lot about Rhea. She's a very complex character. You know, kind of like Edelgard in some ways. I wouldn't put her in SS tier. I don't think so. I don't think I would put her. Putting Rhea in SS tier tells me that you didn't play through Crimson Flower. If you played through Crimson Flower, like, just some spoilers for that. Rhea, the final chapter of Crimson Flower, Edelgard's army has cornered Rhea in the capital of Fargus. I can't remember. Ferdiad. She has her cornered in Ferdiad. So what does Rhea do? She holds it. She, you know, holes up in the castle, in Ferdiad's castle, and she burns the fucking town. As Edelgard's army approaches, she sets the town on fire without letting anyone evacuate. That is a thing that Rhea does. Rhea becomes a whole monster in Crimson Flower, to be honest. Like, and when you learn about some of the things that she did, like, I'm just not gonna hold back with spoilers. Like, she basically used Byleth to try and bring Sothis, her mother, back to life. She used Byleth's mother to do that, Citri. You know, Citri was born with the Crest of Flames, the Crest Stone, fused with her heart. And then when Byleth was born, Byleth was gonna die, so Citri said, save Byleth. So Rhea took the Crest Stone out of Citri's chest and put it in Byleth's chest. And that is why Byleth doesn't show emotion. She doesn't really feel emotion at all. So Rhea is basically responsible for everything that has ever gone wrong in this game, in this story. So that is why I would not put her at SS tier. Dorothea SS tier. Great choice. I love myself a good lesbian icon, and that is exactly what Dorothea is. Moving on to S tier. Lysithea? Good choice, good choice. You know, top tier unit, top tier character. Love her backstory with the those who slither in the dark, which we'll talk about in the Golden Deer playthrough. Hilda in S tier? I don't know if I'd put her that high. She's a fun character. I don't know if I'd put her that high though. I'm assuming Rogers has a soft spot, shall we say, for Hilda. Marianne S tier, good choice. Really like her. We'll see. She has one of the most interesting paralogs in the game. Bernadetta S tier, again, great choice. We saw a whole lot of Bernie when I played through with the Blue Lions. Claude S tier, love it. You know, we'll learn a lot about Claude. He's a awesome character. Hubert S tier, I'm okay with that. I like Hubert's character a lot, actually. I'm a little bit surprised that he put him this high, to be honest. Constance is S tier. I'm okay with that. I find her a little annoying at times, but I really like her, you know, her dual personalities. I think that's interesting and entertaining at times. Byleth S tier, that's fine. Manuela S tier? I don't know. I think he might be a simp from Manuela. I mean, I don't know why Manuela would be that high, to be honest. I think she's kind of boring. Moving on to A tier, Sylvain. I wouldn't put him this high. I wouldn't put him this high. Fire Emblem, modern Fire Emblem games like to throw in the Casanova character. If you played Awakening and Fates, it was Inigo / Laszlo, and in this game it's Sylvain. And I just don't think Sylvain is as good as others. He doesn't really learn, I feel. Granted, none of the Casanovas really learn, but yeah. Felix in A tier, I can respect that. Mercedes, sure. Anna? What What made you put Anna this high? Again, I have to assume that he's simping for her, because Anna gives you, like, nothing. Like, she gives you nothing to work with. There's no supports. She's a shitty unit. I hate using her. She's really difficult to use, and the only reason I do use her is because she has a paralog attached to her. And yeah, she can't support with anyone, so why even bother? Also, her voice is annoying. I liked her voice in Awakening better. B tier! Sedith and Flame, kind of together. I'd put them higher. I think I'd put them higher. When I found out that they were... that Sedith was actually Keyhole and Flame was actually Sethleen, that blew my mind. I thought that was so cool. So for that reason, I put them higher. Dimitri B tier. This is a crime. This is honestly a crime. Dimitri is one of the best written characters in Fire Emblem history. Not only that, he has the best growths in the entire game. The best stat growths in this entire game. Dimitri probably should also be SS tier. Like, this tells me that Rogers might not have played through Azure Moon. I'm trying to think here, just analyzing this. See, he has Edelgard in SS tier, but it's so weird to me that he has Edelgard and Rhea both in SS tier, because to have Edelgard in SS tier, that tells me you've played through Crimson Flower. But to have Rhea also in there, maybe he's just accounting for Rhea's complexity. I can kind of respect that. Putting, you know, Rhea that high just for being that complex of a character, I can respect that. I will respect that placement. So I think the three choices for SS tier are deserved. I would throw Dimitri in there as well. Maybe Claude too. Claude doesn't get as much of a spotlight though, so I can kind of understand. But yeah. Dimitri is just... This music isn't really fitting now, actually. This is a little bit more... Okay. Dimitri is an amazing example of the effects of PTSD on someone. Like, I haven't really seen a better example in, you know, the media that I consume. So... I think he deserves way more credit than B tier. I feel like putting him this low is a crime. Yuritsa in B tier. I would put him higher just because I think he's the best unit in the game. He came out as a playable character in the last DLC wave. I think it was the one before the Ashen Wolves came out. Yeah, you can play as the Death Knight. And, yes, that sounds just as broken. It's just as broken as it sounds. He has the most broken set of abilities in the entire game. He has counterattack. That's right. He has counterattack. He can counterattack at any range for free without needing to use an item or a gambit or anything. He has that. That's part of his class, of the Death Knight class. You master Death Knight class, you get counterattack. That is ridiculous. He has a hidden talent in flying that gives him Darting Blow as a male unit, a skill that is normally gender-locked behind female. He has Mastermind! You know, that Lysithia's personal ability. He has that for some reason. What else does he have? Those three, honestly, are the deal breakers for me. Like, holy shit. And the Death Knight class itself has ridiculous growths. It can use magic. Like, Yuritsa can do anything. That he is a ridiculous unit. I'd put him in S tier just for that, to be honest. Plus, it has a 7 move. It has great range. Like, ridiculous. Yeah, those three abilities, counterattack, Darting Blow, Mastermind, really sold me on Yuritsa. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat. I hope nobody's talking in there. Hey Patrick, you made it. Yeah, I'm just getting into it. I'll move my followers going when we get to the bottom. Just having Mastermind, it's like having counterattack and Darting Blow is already amazing. But Mastermind gives you easy access to skills like Lance Fair, like Movement +1. You know, all these amazing things that you normally wouldn't, you know, you would have a much harder time getting because you don't gain as much experience. You think it's based off personality only? I think so too. You know, he didn't really give any criteria, so that's kind of what I'm basing it off of too. But, okay, who's next? Ferdinand, B tier. That's fine. I feel like Ferdinand does go through a decent amount of growth in part 2. So I might put him in A tier. Petra B tier? That's a crime. You got it. Petra's got to be higher than that. I'm sorry. She's got to be A tier at the very least. Shamir B tier. Also, I think she should be higher. Balthus B tier. Eh. He's my least favorite of the Ashen Wolves, so I'm okay with that. Caspar B tier. I kind of think I put him in A tier. Hanuman B tier. I honestly think he should be lower. I just think Hanuman is boring as shit. Ingrid, B tier? I'm fine with that. I'd probably put her higher, but that's fine. Honestly, if I were making this tier list, I wouldn't have so many tiers. I feel like all these characters are so well written and deep that they could fit in, like, I don't think I would go lower than maybe B tier. I would have everybody in B tier and then Manuela Hahnemann in C tier. That would be, or like everyone in B tier and above, and then Manuela Hahnemann in C tier. That would be it. Maybe throw Gilbert in there as well. Actually, no, I'd put him higher. So this, C tier. Come on, man. It's so this. It's so this. She's your berating, nagging grandmother in the body of a small child. I'd put her in A tier. Annette in C tier. Come on, man. Annette is actually the most adorable character in this game. Like, no cap. Annette is so cute. Should have DM'd him to discuss. That would have been hype. Yeah, maybe. I'm having fun doing this though. I don't really. Anyways. Yeah, Annette. Cutest character. Her little bah noise that she makes. Oh, it gets me every time. She is so cute. I love her. I never use her because like every mage in the game is better. But yeah, Catherine C tier. Give me a break. Fucking blonde lesbian knight. Like, what more can you ask for? And Yuri in C tier quit the game. Like, you don't know. Yuri is an icon, a legend. Like, you put him and Claude in the same room, and they're probably overthrowing the government. Like, I cannot believe Yuri is He's not the lowest out of the Ashen Wolves. I can't believe that he is this low. I cannot believe it. So this is where I'm gonna get. This is where my opinions start to get really heated when we get into the bottom here. D tier. Happy. You put Happy in D tier? Do you know how much shit Happy's been through? She literally summons demonic beasts every time she sighs. And you're gonna put her in D tier? Does she really deserve that? Come on, man. All she wants to do is hang out with her forest friends. And blast people with dark magic. Happy and Yuri are my two favorites of the Ashen Wolves. They are right up there. And if you pair Happy up with Linhart, then they actually figure out a cure for her curse, which is awesome. So, Ash in D tier, you can't do my boy like that. Ash is the best boy. He's actually the best boy, the most pure boy in this game. Like, I'm gonna tell my buddy Savvy Joe, and they're gonna come find you for putting Ash this low. Raphael D tier? I have less of a problem with this. My one problem is, have you played Raphael's Paralog, and have you seen his support with Ignatz? Because if you have, you would know that Raphael might be the most wholesome character in this game. He is actually a wholesome teddy bear of a man. Like, okay. The one moment that really sells it for me is in his... We haven't played it through his Paralog yet, but... in his support with Ignatz, you learned that, you know, Raphael's parents were killed in an accident. And Ignatz reveals that they were killed in a monster attack on their way to a merchant's convention that Ignatz's parents were supposed to attend but couldn't, so Raphael's parents went in their stead. So Ignatz believes that he is partially responsible for Raphael's parents' death. Raphael says, that is bullshit. We are friends, you're my buddy, I don't care about all that noise. My parents died in an accident, that's that. I don't want, you know, it's nobody's fault. He firmly stands by that it is no one's fault that his parents are dead. And it's just... He deserves better than this, that's all I'm saying. Cyril in D tier? I don't have much of a problem with this either. Cyril isn't my favorite character to talk to. It's honestly a shame. Like, his story is pretty kind of sad when you think about it. Like, he was orphaned in Elmira. Rhea saved him and, you know, took him home, gave him a home, and basically made him work for the rest of his life. Even though it you know, Cyril says that he wants to do it to like pay off his debt, but you know, it's just kind of sad. You know, Cyril kind of makes me sad, so I can kind of understand him being this low. Dedue being this low? Did you here's what you should do, RogersBase, if you ever watch this. Go watch Dedue and Dimitri's A support, and then see their ending. Dedue is literally in love with Dimitri. You cannot convince me otherwise. Dedue loves that man so much. He would go anywhere with him. He would die for him 100 times over. Dedue is painfully in love with Dimitri. And he brings such an interesting perspective of racism to the table. Or like, maybe that's why he put him this low. But the fact that, like, his people were scapegoats, you know, his people were labeled as scapegoats for causing a massacre, and were therefore massacred in response. And I don't know. It's just, it's a very unexpected response to that kind of thing, to that kind of treatment. You know, when people, you know, when people would accuse him of treachery, and would like refuse to trust him, or refuse to let him help, and he would be understanding. I don't know. I hesitate to call it realistic because I'm not sure if it is. Like, if this would be a real thing, if it would, you know. But yeah. Anyways, he is very in love with Dimitri, and I just can't get over that. Alois in D tier. I get it. He's annoying. Like, I get it. Like, he tells terrible jokes, and it's hard to watch some of his supports, I gotta say. And he also, you know, doesn't shut up about Geralt. So I can understand him being this low, but I still don't think he deserves to be in D tier. F tier? And like as I said before, I don't think any characters should be in D tier or below in this game. Gilbert being an F tier, I mean, he is a very shitty father, that's for sure. He does get a redemption arc if you A-support him with Annette. But if you don't, if you don't A-support him with Annette, he gets no redemption, and as far as I can tell, Annette never speaks to him again. So, yeah, I'd say he kind of deserves to be this low. You know, self-deprecating depression lord refuses to, you know, see the people... refuses to crawl out of his hole of self-hatred to even love his daughter. And his wife and daughter. You know, the reason why he's in that hole of self-hatred. So yeah, he's kind of a moron in that regard. And also his mentality of all I can do now is pray. And everybody calls him out on that. Like literally everyone. So he kind of deserves to be this low. Now here is where I feel like I don't want to call... I'm not calling RogersBase a fraud. I am not calling him a fraud. What I am saying is I don't think he saw all the supports for these characters. Linhardt, Lawrence, Ignatz, and Leone? I'm going to get to Leone in a second. Linhardt and Lawrence... I'll start with Lawrence. Lawrence in part 1 is a piece of shit. I will give you that. If you graded the characters based solely on their interactions and personalities in the first part, Lawrence is, you know, upper class aristocrat, you know, turn your nose up at people. Yeah, he's really annoying in that way. And, like, that is a legitimate flaw of his. But if you watch his supports and, you know, you watch him progress throughout part 2, he really grows out of that. Like, his growth in part 2 is one of the biggest growths of any character in this game. Similarly, Ignatz. Also, I feel like Ignatz goes through one of the biggest glow-ups between part 1 and part 2 in the entire game. Another one who's up there is Bernadetta. But yeah, you know, Ignatz kind of starts out as this, you know, annoying, high-pitched voice, refuses to stand up for himself, wussy character in part 1, so yeah, I can understand why you might think he's annoying, but again, he turns it around in part 2. He goes through such a huge glow-up, it's amazing. And you can just tell how much more confident he is in part 2 than he is in part 1. And it's the same thing with Lawrence. So seeing, and also we have Linhardt, who, you know, in part 1, his only real personality trait is falling asleep and talking about crests. So, he doesn't really grow out of it in part 2, now that I think about it. But, Linhardt is too fucking funny to be in F tier. Linhardt has so many hilarious one-liners in this game. We're about to get to one in Cindered Shadows, actually. But, like, when you're searching... When Flame was kidnapped and you're scurrying around the monastery looking for her, and she's like... And he's like, no, I haven't seen Flame. She was abducted. Oh, you're looking for her. Sorry, my mind was somewhere else. That is fucking hilarious. Linhardt is such a mood. I'm trying to think of... What was that? Like, Ferdinand's trying to get him to train or something, and he's like, oh, that sounds so interesting. I'll have to remember while I'm walking away. Oh my, Linhardt is the biggest mood in this game, I swear. But now, finally, and let me move the follower count so you can all see this. He loves this game to death, has put a fuck ton of time into it. Okay. So that tells me he's played through all the routes. I don't know if he's done all the supports. Well, I can only assume. And he can correct me if I moved the wrong thing. He can, you know, correct me if he wants. And, But we have to talk about Leone. We have to talk about Leone. I have seen so many people, and I don't know why. Actually, I have an idea why. I've seen a lot of people talk about how Leone is a piece of shit character. And I refuse to stand for it. Not saying she's the best. Not saying I'd marry her. But saying Leone is F- tier? Leone is not trash. I will not stand for this, Neos. Don't you do it. I understand why people don't like her. I understand. She won't shut up about Gerald. I get it. You know, people say it's like, oh, she's always sucking Gerald's dick. Again, I have to say, watch the supports. You would just watch the supports. Like, I'm trying to think of one. I'm sick and tired of seeing people shit on Leone. And it's like, yeah, if you only ever talk to her, if the only dialogue you see from her is, you know, when you're exploring the monastery or, you know, those little interludes in between battles, then yeah, that is all she talks about is Gerald. And that does get kind of annoying. But you get to see so much more of her in the support conversation. You get to see, like, how much she wants to repay her village for sending her to school. You see how resourceful she is. Like, she always, you know, she doesn't want to waste anything. She has a support with Lysithea where she would take Lysithea's old notes and use them for studying instead of letting Lysithea throw them away. So basically what I'm saying is Leone does not deserve this slander. If anyone deserves this slander in this game, it's Manuel and Hahnemann. Because those two are by far the most boring characters in this game. Honestly, I'm gonna have to make my own character tier list after I finish all the routes on stream. Because, you know, I really believe that every single character in this game is likable in some way. Manuela was so garbage. Yeah. Yeah, as far as tiers go, I put Manuela and Hahnemann in C tier. Everybody else is B tier and above. Like, all these characters are so good. Fire Emblem does such a good job of fleshing out their characters in support conversations. So, I think that's about all I have to say regarding this. RogersBase, if you see this, first of all, I'm glad you enjoyed the game. This is my favorite game of all time. And, yeah, these are some of my favorite characters of all time. So, yeah, I just want you to know this is all in good fun. I'd love to hear what you think about Rhea, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I will not tolerate Leone slander on this channel. Okay. Fortissimo teaches Beos FE when? That's up to you, man! When you decide to play Fire Emblem, I'll be there. You just let me know. Alright, I need to refill my water bottle. And then I'll be right back. We'll get back into Cinder Shadows.